Notre Dame now sits as an open wound. Tonight, new images take us inside the 12-hour battle to save the cathedral. Rushing into the danger, firefighters shooting powerful jets of water into the 850-year-old cathedral, a legion descending on the scene, a makeshift command post outside. As this piece of French history burned, the fire department sending up drones for a bird's-eye view. What they saw, the entire roof engulfed. This is what it looked like before. It's nicknamed the Forest, built in the 13th century out of 13,000 trees, now just tinder. For hours it raged as Paris and the world watched. Gasps as the famous spire fell. Firefighters using water from the river, their hoses trained on the church as day became night. Scaling the scaffolding, the famous gargoyles overhead. Then a robot sent into the cathedral as embers rained on the altar, streams of water launched deep into the pews. Firefighters staring at the smouldering wreckage. This morning, by daylight, a wider view of the destruction inside. You can see firemen are still working to assess the damage, working out if the building is still safe. But all around us here, black ash, a dark memory of what took place last night. Finot is an official at the cathedral.
Part of the roof has disappeared, and there's some water leakages downstairs, and just a nightmare.
The timeline of the disaster coming into focus. A fire alarm sounding at 6:20 p.m. Inspectors search the building but find nothing. 23 minutes later, another alarm. That time, they see the flames, but it's too late. That 23-minute gap, now part of an investigation authorities say, will be long and complex. The cathedral home to a vast collection of Christian treasures, from the immaculate rose windows and its iconic pipe organ to its most sacred relic, the famed crown of thorns, seen in National Geographic's The Story of God with Morgan Freeman.
More than 13 million people come here every year, yet only a fraction of them knows that these vaulted ceilings house one of the most precious and closely guarded relics in all Christendom. The crown of thorns.
Freeman was granted special access to see the crown up close.
This is it.
This is it. This is very rare to show it like that.
The crown Christians believe Jesus Christ himself wore on the cross.
I know you said that if there is a crown of thorns, this is it.
Yes.
But what if it's not it?
Well, if it really touched Christ, of course, it is obvious. But even if it's not the true one, it's a way of remembering, okay, he really was on earth. He was a true man. He could bear that. He could have that on his very head. And this is no story, this is not a tale or a symbol or an abstraction. This is history. This is concrete.
That piece of history, along with many others, rescued from the flames last night and taken to the Louvre for safekeeping. How much of the artifacts have been saved?
Something like 80%.
80% of the artifacts have been saved?
Yeah.
That's extraordinary. While the cause of the fire is not yet known, authorities are treating it as an accident and are investigating if the fire might have been linked to a renovation effort underway when the blaze broke out.
Nous rebâtirons la cathédrale Notre-Dame plus belle encore.
Today, French President Emmanuel Macron vowed to rebuild Notre Dame in 5 years. Donations have been flowing in, now topping hundreds of millions of dollars, much of it coming from wealthy French citizens, many bolstered by the momentum.
It gives me hope that we are going to be able to rebuild this cathedral in a full shape. I think that the reconstruction of the cathedral will be a sign of these believers in Jesus Christ.
Though some believe it could take much longer, a precise digital replica of the cathedral, captured in 2015, has bolstered hopes for Notre Dame's restoration.
There's nothing written about it. Masons never stopped at the end of the day and said, well, I built my cathedral this way because. And so I've been using more sophisticated technology these days to try to get new answers from the buildings.
Architectural historian Andrew Tallon painstakingly mapped Notre Dame and other cathedrals using cutting-edge laser technology. Talon's work will likely prove crucial to any future rebuilding efforts.
Andrew's major mission was to make sure that as many people as possible understood the beauty of these Gothic structures.
Lindsay Cook of Vassar College inherited the project after Talon's death.
It was a major undertaking to do this, and it took place over many years, and this is something that's becoming more and more crucial, especially after the fire at Notre Dame. And it's happened to so many Gothic churches over time that it's actually, for a medievalist, it's not at all surprising.
Windsor Castle was devastated by flames in 1992, but a nearly $50 million repair project saw the Queen's official residence reopened 5 years later. Fire gutted Ireland's St Mel's Cathedral on Christmas Day 2009, but it was restored for more than $30 million in 2014. And just last year, a fire consumed the National Museum of Brazil, decimating 90% of its collection. For the people of France, the return of their beloved cathedral cannot come soon enough.
It felt like finding out that getting a call that a loved one was in the hospital and you weren't sure they were going to make it, and you had to get down there to see them and say bye, maybe.
Rozena Crossman lives 15 minutes away from the cathedral. She was one of the hundreds who flocked to the site, watching as the flames spread across the roof.
It was like watching a really surreal, horrible movie, and everybody went, we saw all the glass explode.
You saw the glass in that window explode?
Yeah, we watched it explode.
So what was it like, the atmosphere here?
It was so strange. There were so many people, and it was so quiet. It was so quiet.
And people here were moved, they were crying, and...
Yeah, there were people that were sobbing. There was a woman behind me sobbing into her phone. There was just shock.
People have been coming down here all day, and yes, there are a lot of foreigners, but mostly it's Parisians coming down here in quiet contemplation, looking to see what happened to their favourite building.
For Nightline, I'm James Longman in Paris.
Our thanks to James and our team in Paris.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.